Well, hello everyone and welcome back to today's NAR Realtor Benefit Summit webinar. It's our final webinar of the day. And if you were just joining us, we're honored to welcome you. And it's just been a day of industry experts and overview of information and how to get the most out of your NAR member benefits. And I'm Callie Waterhouse with the Arizona Association of Realtors. Our final webinar of the day is Arizona Association of Realtors Senior Vice President of Research and Member Value, Ron LeMay. And Ron is going to be sharing with us like a trifecta of NAR benefits. We're going to be talking about the .realtor domain, the MVP program, and NAR's Learning Library. So these are just great nuggets of information that sometimes go unnoticed or underutilized. And Ron's going to talk about how to use them and incorporate them into your business, and just to be aware of them, that they are out there, they are a member benefit, to help you grow and organize your business. And as always, we accept and would love to have your questions throughout today's webinar. So feel free to write them in the question box in front of you. Ron is going to be speaking for 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, and then we're going to be taking some questions at the very end or even throughout his presentation. So if you have questions, feel free to share them with us and we'll answer them, of course. So now we're going to turn it over to Ron. Here is his contact information on the screen. We always welcome member feedback and member questions. Ron has been with the organization, goodness, 30 years?
No, not that long.
How long have you been here?
It'll be 24 in February.
Oh, I stand corrected. 24 years with the association and working with members and value and benefits. So definitely reach out to him. He is definitely one of our go-to people here at the association. So Ron, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Callie. And since it's noon, I guess I can say good afternoon. And thank you for joining us here. These three items are ones that I picked because they're ones that I think are going to be very useful to you in the future, right now and in the future, and they're ones that I'm a little bit excited about too. So I guess I get to push the button. And I'm going to ask Callie, since she's my next-door neighbor at AAR, our offices are right next door, and we end up shouting back and forth once in a while talking about things. So I want to invite her to take part, to add in anything that I might miss, or also to ask some questions. So please feel free.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Okay, so
click on the screen.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is the .realtor domain, and we're going to go into some more detail, but that's a new domain like the .com domain. And I'm going to talk about the MVP program, which is probably one of the best kept secrets at NAR, if not the next one, which is the library. I love the library, and I love NAR's library too. So let's start talking about the .realtor domain. Obviously, unless you lived in a cave, you're aware about you're aware of the World Wide Web and .coms and .nets and lots of different domains. What is kind of interesting is that recently ICON, the organization, the international organization that allows or disallows different top-level domains like .com, has been releasing a lot more. As a matter of fact, they've opened up a floodgate of them. So now you'll be able, if you want to, or under certain circumstances, you can register a .attorney domain or a .guru. Have you heard of .guru?
.guru,
.guru, and .property, which is kind of interesting. That's very close to .realtor. But the National Association of Realtors has managed, they really are a private organization. It's our professional organization, but they're privately held. They have managed to get access or get the rights to a particular top-level domain, and I think that that's fairly unique. I'm not sure that I've ever heard of any other particular organization that owns that. So they have .realtor, and they can set the standards, they can set the requirements for people who want to have a .realtor domain. And by the way, I will say as a side note that I understand that the National Association of Realtors has also acquired rights to .real estate, and they will be making the rules up for that. They're not going to be as restrictive as those of .realtor, but I think you'll be hearing more about that later. So the idea behind this is that if you look at the slide on the webinar, is that you'll be able to have your own name like ronlemay.realtor. And why would you want to do that? And it's about branding. So we're going to take a little side trip. We're going to talk quickly about branding. And branding is really, you know, we can talk a lot about it and about what its different aspects are, but really it's all about creating a memorable identity. That is creating a set of a thinking, you know, an image, an idea that's associated with a particular name. And if you're associated with a franchise brand, like the ones you see at the bottom of the screen there, then you know about branding. And for example, the Century 21 brand has been described as the most well-known real estate brand in the world. Yeah, I did a search. Wow. I found a study for that, which is kind of interesting because if you're here in the Valley or if you're here in the state of Arizona, you know that HomeSmart and also Realty One groups, they're the two largest brokerage firms in Arizona, and they both have very strong brand identities here. So aside from brand identities, what we're talking about here is a personal brand. And, you know, do you want a personal brand? I think most realtors have been thinking about this, and as marketers, they have decided, many of them have decided that they do want to have some set of qualities or some aura of the business that relates directly to them. And so I think that having the .realtor domain, having your name associated with .realtor is definitely an important thing. It's part of your whole internet branding experience. Now, this .realtor domain, as I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is not something that you want to do exclusively. It's not that you don't want to put all of your eggs in that one .realtor basket. As a matter of fact, it wants to be integrated with your other domains that you probably already have, unless you don't have any, but then we'll talk about that in a second too. But the idea is to integrate it with your current domains, have your .realtor domain point to your personal domains, your branding domains, and you just need to get some help to do that. It's not a big deal, but it is something that I think that you should get some help with. So if it's your first domain, if you don't have any web presence at all, then I think the most important advice is to get a personal domain too. Now there's lots of things that you can do with that. You can do things like ronlemay.com. You could get rontheagent.com. You don't want to use the term realtor in your domain name because that's a no-no from the National Association of Realtors. It's definitely a trademark violation, and it's something that I have to deal with. It's one of the less pleasant things that I have to deal with is to let members know if their trademarks, if they do violate the trademark regulations. So you do want a standard domain, whatever it might be, probably associated with your name and possibly associated with what you do, like maybe Ron Horse Property Agent or Ron or the Manufacturing Homes Agent, you know, whatever you might identify as your brand. Get some help with that too. If this is your first time, your first domain, you probably want to get a website set up. You want to get email organized. You probably should get some social media training if you're new to this whole thing. And this is the time to freshen up your printed materials because all of it's going to contain this information. So here are the reasons why it's important for you to get on board right now. In essence, what you're doing is you're associating yourself, your name, what you do with the Realtor brand. And the Realtor brand is a positive brand. It is one that people recognize, and it's actually improving. The National Association of Realtors is investing a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of resources all the way across the board to ensure that the public is more aware of the Realtor brand, and that they have associate positive qualities to that. So it's not a token effort. I mean, they're really doing a lot of good things to let the public know what realtors are doing for them in their communities and in protecting their private property rights and all those buzzwords, those things that are happening, but we're letting the public know about that. So the brand is definitely improving. Now, as soon as you get your .realtor domain, it's a good opportunity to reach out to your clients, to the people, and let them know that you're doing this and why you're doing it, and that it's a cool thing. So it's just one of those opportunities to reach out, and that's a very positive thing for you. The last thing, although I know there's other good reasons, but right now is a good time when this is just starting out to get your name before other people do. You are allowed to use even first names, like you could be Ben.Realtor. You could be Fred.Realtor. Could you imagine? That's your domain. And if you're Ron.Realtor, you're the only Ron.Realtor in the entire world. You're the only one that can use that. Now, my guess is that at this point, most of the first names and nicknames have been taken. And you may not, unless you have a very unusual first name or last name, it's not likely that you're going to be able to get it right now. I'll show you in a second, but about 100,000 names, 100,000 domain names have already been claimed. And once they're claimed, nobody else can get it. But now's the time for whatever, take the time now to do that so that you can get your name registered. There are some downsides to this. Remember, I told you that one of the first things that you need to do is to get your personal domain registered as well. By the way, if you haven't done this before, the cost to register a domain is a recurring anywhere from $10 to maybe $15 or $20 a year cost. Depends. You can shop around because the .coms and the .nets and the .orgs and all those are pretty ubiquitous. You can find them everywhere, and they are price sensitive, so you can find a better deal. However, the .realtor domain is only allowed for NAR members, which means that if you decide to leave the association, or if your broker decides to leave the association and for whatever reason they're no longer realtors, then you can't use that domain anymore. NAR will take it back. And remember, if you've invested a lot of capital, a lot of efforts into promoting that brand, then you don't want to lose that. So so I think that's one reason why you want to have your personal domain and tie the realtor domain to it. The cost for the first year is zero. The National Association of Realtors has offered for the first 500,000 first-year domains that they will give it to you for free, but it will cost you about $30 a year after that. So, and I just saw Kelly frown just a little bit. If you go and you look at some of these other domains, like I think .guru maybe like $15 a year. .property though is $30 a year. So to pay that much for .realtor is not it's not a bad deal. They're not gouging. That's the going rate for really specific identity type domains.
The premium domains.
The premium domain. So just figure that you might get it free the first year. And by the way, if you register for more than one .realtor, and you may, if you're so lucky as to get Ron.Realtor, you could have also registered probably RonLeMay.Realtor or Phoenix Ron Realtor.Realtor. You could get several domains, and many realtors have already done that. But your first one is free for the first year, and after that it's $30. The other point that I make there is that if you have a very, very strong internet brand and you're really well known, it's probably, I wouldn't say it's a negative, but it's not really a positive to have the .realtor domain. It can't hurt you. As a matter of fact, the chances are it will be positive. And again, as I said before, it does give you an opportunity to reach out to all those people that you have an effective brand relationship with and let them know what's going on. but it's if you have a strong brand, it's not necessarily going to help. So if there's any questions about that, please let us know. Did you have any questions about it, Callie?
I'm wondering, is there a limit to the number of domains that you can purchase?
Not as far as I've seen. You can have as many domains as you can afford. So your first one is free, but your second one would be $29, $30 for the first year, and then the second one would be another 30 and another 30 and another 30. Now, I believe, and if you go on about.realtor, which is that web address right there, about.realtor, you will be able to get all the rules and things like that. I believe that they might give you discounts if you get more than one domain or if you register for more than 1 year. But don't take my word for it. Go and look at it. So I really think this is definitely a thing to go for. Anything else that you thought of?
I'm wondering if the .realtor is going to have like extra Google juice because it's owned by NAR.
You know, it certainly could. What is your thinking about that?
I'm thinking 550,000 domains with NAR behind it, 1 million members. It definitely stands the chance to get a little extra.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. Because when Google and these other search engines do their crawling of all the sites, it's very, very likely that anything that's .realtor is going to pop to the top with any search for realtor as a keyword. So my guess is it's going to have more juice. And so definitely, even if you have an established brand, web brand, you may want to go for the .realtor just for the improvement in the search engine rankings.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's a great opportunity to maybe do like a new niche market, or if you wanted to go after a specific, generation, that it would be a great opportunity to do like a second chapter of your marketing plan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and your marketing plan should have extra chapters. You shouldn't have just one chapter. You should have a lot of tabs there. All right, great. Now let's talk about the MVP program. This has been around for years, and I have to admit that I've only been aware of it for about a year, but the longer I see it, the more of a fan I am. It's really simple. You do something, and NAR gives you a reward. It's kind of like a Pavlovian thing, but they have a good purpose for it, and the whole idea is, most members, and that's one of the reasons for this webinar, Callie, is that most members don't have any idea of what NAR can do for them. And what this MVP program, does is it more or less guides you. I wouldn't want to say forces you because it's nothing forced, but it guides you into looking at some of these cool benefits and programs that NAR has for you. As a matter of fact, the one for this month, actually this time period, they're done twice a month. So the one that will be ending in another week is you can get a free ebook. What you need to do is you need to download a free ebook. So you just have to go online, register, pick through the books, find one, download it, and then your reward will be this Real Estate Professional's Guide to Selling More in Less Time. And now this is a real book. It's a book that has a value of $9.95, but it's an ebook, and you will be able to get that free. And there's lots of stuff like this. For example, in the past, they've asked you to watch a video about something or attend a webinar about something having to do with NAR. One that they had recently was about the RPR. Attend an RPR webinar, which, by the way, was really cool. And those people that watched that webinar, Callie, came away with a whole new concept of what RPR is and all the cool things that it does. I'm a big fan of RPR. But they wouldn't have known about that until they attended the webinar. Also, responding to a call to action. NAR takes it very seriously what our elected officials are doing with regard to real estate and real estate programs. So when they issue a call to action, they need our help. and I certainly respond, and I know Callie responds. So, they need your help to do that too. You respond to a call of action, and you get something, and that's pretty cool. Some of the rewards that they've given are brochures. It's like a templated brochure. I'm not sure if you've ever seen those, but
sure I have.
It's really, really very, very neat stuff that you can customize with your own logo and your own information and use them. In other words, they're consumer brochures. Lots of ebooks, like this one that they want you to go and download an ebook from the system. And one of the best ones that we've gotten recently is the 2014 survey of home buyers and sellers. This is a huge asset to both selling agents and buyers agents, knowing what people are doing out there, how they're reacting, where they're looking for homes, how they're finding members, how they're finding realtors, and things like that. And they give it away free.
Yeah, I got that one recently, and what a wealth of information. It's demographics, and it's generational, and it talks about properties. I mean, what a great giveaway.
Yeah.
Just for me doing something that, it was answer a question or something. I mean, it was something relatively easy.
Fairly simple. So go to mvp.realtor.org. That's where you go to find that program. Sign up. By the way, they don't force you to do anything. You don't have to. It's not like a book club where you have to respond every month. If you just ignore it for a month or for a 2-week period, they don't get upset with you. You just pick and choose the things that you want to do and the rewards that you want to get.
Did they send me an email?
Yeah.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have to go to the website and go,
No.
what's this month's? Okay.
Yeah, they let you know. They let you know each month. So if you guys have any questions about that, let us know. I think it's a pretty good deal. Now, I saved the best for last.
Agreed.
If you folks don't go to the libraries, I understand. It's kind of a geeky thing, but I haunt libraries. I haunt them all the time. And the NAR library, I stumbled on it years and years ago, and I just watched it grow and grow and grow. It really, really is one-stop shopping for real estate information for members. It's not intended for consumers. As a matter of fact, it's members only. Now, some of the components that they have here, one of the most useful ones is field guides, and they literally have dozens of field guides. And a field guide is detailed information and like a whole set of documents and links, and it's actually information as well as links to go to more information. So it's like a container of information and resources and places to look for things. For example, you may not think looking for a smartphone, it's an agonizing process for me because I go crazy over the features, but you may not know what to look for. They have a whole field guide on smartphones, and that's really cool. They have field guides about a bunch of different marketing topics. Their brokerage section for brokers or for agents that are trying to decide where they want to go, if they want to open their own brokerage, there's just tons of information there. So whether you want to know, what the heck's going on at what an association really does, besides produce webinars, the information's on those field guides, along with legal and liability stuff, commercial stuff, and just bunches and bunches of technology. So the field guides are cool information. And this is along with that, they have, these are some of the ebooks that I just wanted to spotlight them. One of them says Law in Plain English for Small Business, not real estate specific, but it's just sort of a legal primer. Home Business Ideas That Work, a Manager's Guide to Coaching. So there's real estate and non-real estate topics in this ProQuest library. I've used this for years. I used this in college, 20, 30 years ago. ProQuest is a great resource. It's an online resource of ebooks, magazines, journals, all sorts of stuff. So it's almost like a Library of Congress online, and you can find most everything on there. I don't know if they have fiction, but they do have a lot of business books. So
Ron, you go online and you find one of the guide to coaching here. you're logged into your account because they know you're a realtor. What platforms? I want to read this book, but what do I have to have to read it?
Virtually any tablet or laptop or even smartphone platform is supported. So definitely Kindle and all of the other apps and things that are they're all supported. It's a very, very deep assortment of different platforms that are supported. So yeah.
So
and some of them are just PDFs.
So it's like a digital download.
Yes.
D. Patrick Lewis likes to say that they're platform agnostic. So they're very friendly.
That's a good expression. Yeah. They really don't favor one platform. They really support everybody.
Excellent.
So the library the online library is really good.
Any idea how many titles are available?
Thousands. I don't know. I don't. That's a good question.
Come back to the screen.
Oh, here we go. Okay. You're trying to move this along. Along with that, at the library, there's videos. There's some business letter templates, like if you need to write a tenant a letter, or if you need to write, just all kinds of different business activities. They have letter templates there. And best of all, they have somebody to talk to. That phone number right there, the 800 number, is for Information Central. And this is another one of those best-kept secrets for NAR. Any member who has a question, now we're not, you need to talk to your broker if you have to, or your broker needs to talk to the legal hotline if you have a specific question, a legal question or something like that, or how do I do this? But if it's something about where do I find information about something, or where can I go to find this? Information Central has an 800 number that's pretty much all day long during weekdays, and that's great information. So the last point there is that the library is the current MVP award. So by going to the library and checking out, well, first of all, go to the MVP program and sign up first, and then go to the library and you get credit for downloading that first ebook. And it's a really good combination.
And this is it comes from the top. So these are not bottom feeders type information. This is NAR.
Oh yeah.
So it's good quality.
Well, especially those field guides, they have spent a lot of time and energy, and they've got old ones too that are topics that are not necessarily of any interest anymore, but they've got archives for those. But they've spent lots and lots of money and a lot of put a lot of time into creating top quality stuff. So yeah, and if you have an issue with something, if something doesn't work for you, let me know, because we can talk with them. This last slide is NAR really does appreciate their members, but we're closer to you, and we love you too. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to call us. Obviously, we can't give you legal information. That's not possible. Nobody here at AAR or NAR can give you legal information, answer legal questions. But if you want to know where to go to get something, call Ron. Call that phone number there, the 248-7787 number, that 602-248-7787 that's on the screen. And, let me be your person of last resort. I will find out what I talk to members all the time. If you call me and you ask for me, be sure and tell the lady that you're a member. Say, I'm a member, because I get a lot of calls. And if you don't say you're a member, you may go to my voicemail because we just get a lot of calls. And I want to put members first. Members always come first for us here. And also the business services number on there. If you have a question about e-sign or zip form, those folks are real experts. So I think that's about all I've got to say. I've kind of got wound down.
I think, like I commented, it's like the trifecta. I mean, these are the hidden gems of free benefits for our members to build their business. The .realtor domain, anybody who is cutting edge, wants to be ahead of the game, or even just getting into the game, this is a good foot in the door.
Definitely.
To reiterate, I don't think it takes the place of your personal branding, but it's a good second chapter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember telling several members that, leave the branding of the brokerage to the brokerage. It's your responsibility to brand yourself.
That's true.
With the Realtors Federal Credit Union Realtor branded credit card, with the .realtor domain, I mean, if you're seriously in business, I think this is a great way to go.
Yeah, it's really where you need to be. And these other places are great ways to familiarize yourself with NAR programs and the information that's there. It's really nice.
It really is. Well, thank you all to all of our speakers and presenters today, to Virginia Tuttle from Realtor Federal Credit Union, Jake Randall, CEO from TaxBox, Lori Gans from Realtors Property Resource, and of course to Ron LeMay from AAR. We appreciate all of you today joining us. And if you have any questions, always, as Ron said, reach out to us here at AAR. We are here to benefit you and to help you grow your business. Anything that we can do. Ron's your guy. He's been here forever. And I mean that nicely.
Yes, I know.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
And have a great 2015.
Absolutely. We wish everybody the best year possible.